No. I've always loved it. This one, it was every
What? So it must be cabinet. Okay, I think it is 6 o'clock. Yeah, okay, so we'll start the meeting. Have we got any apologies for absence?
Yes, Steve says he may not be able to get back.
I've received apologies from Councillor Hussain and Councillor Morse, Chair.
Councillor Harrison.
And Councillor Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I've not been notified of any urgent business. Have we got any declarations of interest in any items on the agenda? If you have, can you put them on the form? I've not been notified of any public questions. We have the minutes of the previous meeting before us. Are there any issues with those in terms of accuracy? Okay, can we note them as a correct record? Thank you. Item 6, Education Provision Strategy 2016 to 2020. Who's going to speak to this?
Okay, this is a 4-yearly report that comes forward obviously every 4 years. It allows us as an authority to deliver a more strategic approach to school place planning. Oldham school population has increased every year in the last 5 years. All trends that we've got is set to continue. Our census data that takes us into about 2022 indicates that this will continue as well. In-year transfers have also gone up every year since 2011 as well. To give an example, demand for primary school places in Oldham have gone up by 11% in the past 5 years. Obviously, this places enormous pressure on us as a local authority and takes an awful lot of planning and time to ensure we can provide, as a statutory responsibility, a place for every child in the borough, both at primary and secondary level. To give a more positive, tangible example of how we're trying to deal with this, managing demand, in just over 2 weeks' time we will see the opening of Northmoor Academy, which is over the road just on the old Green site. This is a brand new £7.5 million primary school. It's 3-form entry. At capacity in the next few years, it'll be 630 pupils, making it one of our largest in Oldham. Myself, the leader and the deputy leader were fortunate to take a tour of the primary school recently, and we were bowled over. Absolutely outstanding facility, not just for the children that will be educated there for years and years to come, but also for the local community as well. I know that the deputy leader has fought for this for years and years, and I could see on the visit the pride. I mean, I can see the pride in his face now at his new primary school. This will be the first of, we'll have other new schools that come forward over the next 5 years as well, and we'll also have expansions to current schools as well. The paper is for noting and for agreement. Thank you.
We agreed? Agreed. Good, thank you. I echo the sentiments that Amanda has just spoken about, because it is a fantastic school. It's a fantastic facility. It will be a community facility as well as a school. And I know how long Abdul Jabbar has been pressing for a new school in the Coldhurst ward, and it was worth waiting for. I think it's going to be a tremendous asset to the borough. Thank you. Okay, so item 7, home to school transport consultation and review. Amanda.
As an authority, Oldham has a statutory responsibility to provide home to school transport for children with special educational needs or disabilities. This accounts for around 500 children across Oldham. We have undertaken a review of the home to school transport as it has been. We have done this in conjunction with Bury and with Rochdale, in line with other priorities we've got with regards to the North East conurbation across Greater Manchester. It's a very positive report, to be honest. The two things that I pick up that are the most positive are the offer of personal budgets as an alternative to allow parents and users to have more of a say on how they use it. And also we are reintroducing a training package that was taken away a few years ago, and we've reintroduced that. There was extensive consultation on this, written consultation, and we had drop-in consultations across the borough, which were very well attended, and the results from that and the feedback was very positive from that. The paper is for agreement.
Any comments? Is that agreed? Thank you. Item 8, minimum revenue provision policy statement. Abdul.
Thank you, Chair. We're required to have a minimum revenue provision policy. And what we've done, Chair, is to actually undertake a review of that policy with the view of identifying some saving. Some councils undertook this last year and actually come up with some in-year saving. And we've been prudent. We wanted to see whether there was any challenge to those reviews. There haven't been. So we decided this year to review the policy. And as the paper states, that during this current financial year, 16-17, it's anticipated that we will be making a saving of 2.7 million by recalculating the debts that we have. So the debt will have to be repaid, and there will be an increase in the year 2033-34, but sometime in the future. This is a prudent way of managing our debt, and we believe this is the right thing to do at this moment in time, and hopefully gives us a bit of additional resource at a time when finances are really stretched. Obviously happy to take any question, and the finance director here is in the meeting as well to answer any questions you've got, but I'm asking colleagues to approve the revised MRP going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Any questions or comments? Is that agreed? Thank you. Item 9, revenue monitoring capital investment programme. Abdul.
Thank you, Chair. So what we've done this time is combined the two reports into one. It's the first quarterly report of the new financial year, 16-17. It gives you the detail of the spend, revenue spend and the capital spend for the period from April to end of June. In terms of the revenue, we anticipating that it will be a balanced budget, in fact, slight surplus by the end of the year. But there is actually two areas where there's significant overspend, particularly in adult social care. And if you look at the details on page 171, then you'll see the the Health and Wellbeing Directorate portfolio is actually projected to overspend by 2.832 million. Clearly a major concern. I think within the within the directorate, I know that the exec director has set up a working group of the officers, which is actually looking at the overspend and how to bring it under control. I'm sure the cabinet member as well will get involved, and I'm hoping that with that intervention, then this could be brought back in line with the forecast budget. And then the other area is economy, skills and neighbourhood. At this moment in time, it's showing an 800,000, just over 800,000 pound overspend. Again, I'm hoping that that will be brought back in line with the forecast because of the intervention they're undertaking in their directorate. At this moment, Chair, I'm happy to pose and take any questions that people got on the revenue before I go on to the capital budget. It's the same paper, but it's the second appendix.
Are there any questions? Okay, do you want to come?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So again, there's been a little bit of an underspend on the capital programme. Nothing of any significant concern, but bit of good news, and that is that in the year 18-19, there will be an additional £22 million of capital available for our schools. So going back to Councillor Chatterton's comment about new schools in the borough, you know, of course it is very much welcomed, the new Northmore Academy, but hopefully where there's other problems in the borough in terms of you know, renewing our school asset, then this money will help us to do that, and I'm looking forward to the cabinet member coming up with this strategy to renew some of the schools which are in disrepair. But it's very much a welcome news, Chair. I have to say I was a little bit surprised when I saw the numbers, so much so I had to ask the finance director whether the decimal point was in the wrong place, and she shared with me that she had the same thought, so she went back and checked it with another colleague, and we're very pleased to report that that resource is there available. Again, Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions together with the finance director.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Do we agree that? Thank you. Item 10 is the Princess Gate Eastern Gateway project. That's my report. And it's also considered in the closed part of the meeting, so I'll take any comments or questions at that point. So I'll move now to item 11, which is the exclusion of the press and public. Thank you.
Seconded.
Is that agreed? Thank you.